Welcome, fellow dreamers and page-turners, to Whimsy Wisdom Podcast, the show where imagination runs wild. I'm your host, Yetti, and today we're stepping into a world of wonder with our episode, What If Books Had Personalities? Picture this. What if your dusty old dictionary was a smug know-it-all, forever correcting your grammar? Or a fairy tale book giggled like a dreamy optimist, spinning happily ever afters? Inspired by the enchanting story, The Library of Personalities, where books like A Wise Dictionary, Whimsical Fairy Tale, and Sneaky Mystery Novel team up for adventure, we're diving into 50 whimsical Q&A pairs that bring books to life. These aren't just fun facts, they're bite-sized bursts of creativity to spark your own storytelling. We'll explore them in themed segments with a dash of magic and humor. Grab your favorite mug of tea, cozy up, and let's turn the page. If you're new here, hit subscribe for more whimsical episodes. Let's start with the classics, genres that know it all or dream big. Kicking things off with books that lecture, dream, and scare. Think dictionaries, fairy tales, and horrors. What if a dictionary had a personality?
Oh, it'd be the ultimate know-it-all, perched on the shelf like a smug professor, correcting everyone's grammar mid-sentence. It's your, not your, it huffed, rustling its pages in indignation, always ready to define your life, one word at a time.
What if a fairy tale book had a personality?
It'd be the dreamy optimist, giggling with sparkles and whispering, once upon a time, everything works out. Always plotting happily ever afters, but watch out, it might turn your bad day into a quest with dragons and fairy godmothers.
What if a mystery novel had a personality?
Sneaky and sharp as a detective's magnifying glass, it'd lurk in the shadows muttering, "Who done it? I've got clues." Forever twisting plots and suspecting everyone, including the innocent bookmark.
What if a romance novel had a personality?
Swoony and dramatic, it'd flutter its pages like eyelashes, sighing, "True love conquers all." It'd play matchmaker in the library, pairing lonely readers with their perfect story soulmate.
What if a sci-fi book had a personality?
Futuristic and inventive, it beamed lasers from its spine, declaring, "To infinity and beyond, let's warp reality." Always brainstorming alien invasions or time machines over coffee with other genres.
What if a cookbook had a personality?
Cheery and flavorful, it bubbled like a pot on the stove, yelling, "Spice up your life, add more garlic." It'd judge your kitchen disasters, but forgive with the recipe for redemption.
What if a history book had a personality?
Wise and nostalgic, it droned on like an old storyteller. Back in my day, empires rose and fell, full of dates and drama, but secretly wishing for a time travel sequel.
What if a self-help book had a personality?
Motivational coach vibes, pumping you up with, "You got this, manifest your dreams." It high-fived your progress, but nag if you skip chapters on positivity.
What if a horror novel had a personality?
Creepy and jumpy, it'd whisper in the dark, "Boo, did I scare you?" Hiding under beds, plotting nightmares, but deep down, just wanting a cozy blanket for it.
What if a poetry book had a personality?
Flowery and emotional, it'd rhyme its way into your heart, sighing, "Roses are red, violets are blue, let's feel all the feels." Always dramatic, turning rain into metaphors.
What if a travel guide had a personality?
Adventurous wanderer, packing maps and exclaiming, "Pack your bags, off to exotic lands." It'd gossip about hidden gems, but complain about jet lag.
What if a comic book had a personality?
Zany and heroic, it'd kapow its way through conversations. To the rescue, bam, pow! Superpowered with puns, but vulnerable to plot twists.
What if a biography had a personality?
Chatty storyteller, spilling secrets like, "Let me tell you about this famous life, juicy details inside." Nosy but inspiring, always name-dropping historical BFFs.
What if a fantasy epic had a personality?
Grand and mythical, it'd roar like a dragon, quest accepted, swords and sorcery await, building worlds bigger than life, but prone to epic cliffhangers.
What if a thriller had a personality?
tense and edge of your seat. It gasps, the plot thickens, run! Always one step ahead, leaving you breathless with suspenseful whispers.
What if a children's picture book had a personality?
Bubbly and colorful, it bounces around singing, "Let's learn and play!" Whee! Full of hugs and life lessons, but sneaky with moral endings.
What if an encyclopedia had a personality?
Overly informative know-it-all cousin to the dictionary, droning, "Did you know? Facts galore." It'd quiz you on trivia, but forgive wrong answers with more info.
What if a memoir had a personality?
Reflective and heartfelt, it'd share, "This is my story, tears, triumphs, and all." Vulnerable like an open diary, inviting you to write your own.
What if a science book had a personality?
Curious experimenter bubbling, "Let's hypothesize." Boom! Discovery! Exploding with theories, but apologetic for failed experiments.
What if a joke book had a personality?
Punny prankster cracking up with, "Why did the book go to therapy? It had too many issues." Always lightening the mood, but groaning at its own bad jokes.
What if a mythology book had a personality?
Godly and dramatic, thundering, "Behold the legends of old, heroes and gods," weaving tales of fate, but meddling like a mischievous deity.
What if a gardening book had a personality?
Earthy and nurturing, whispering, "Plant a seed, watch it bloom." Green-thumbed guru, scolding weeds, but praising your flower power.
What if a detective series had a personality?
Sleuthy sidekick to the mystery novel, piping up, "Case closed, on to the next." Collecting alibis like trading cards with a fedora flair.
What if an art book had a personality?
Creative and abstract, musing, "Stroke of genius, let's paint outside the lines." Critiquing masterpieces, but encouraging your doodles.
What if a philosophy book had a personality?
Deep thinker, pondering, "What is the meaning of this shelf?" Questioning existence, but offering wisdom with a side of existential tea.
What if a fitness book had a personality?
Energetic trainer, shouting, "One more rep, feel the burn!" Motivating workouts, but sympathetic to cheat days with cookie recipes.
What if a mythology book had a personality? Wait, duplicate, let's say folklore book instead.
Folktale spinner, cackling, "Gather round for tall tales and tricky spirits." Weaving superstitions, but warning about cursed endings.
What if a business book had a personality?
Ambitious mogul, networking, "Let's hustle, success is a chapter away." Pitching ideas, but reminding you to balance work with play.
What if a poetry anthology had a personality?
Melodic muse versing, "In rhythm and rhyme, emotions entwine." Collecting verses like flowers, blooming in emotional gardens.
What if a wildlife book had a personality?
Wild explorer, roaring, "Into the jungle, spot the elusive tiger." Documenting critters, but fleeing from actual spiders.
What if a fashion book had a personality?
Stylish diva, strutting, "Darling, accessorize, slay the runway." Critiquing outfits, but boosting confidence with trend tips.
What if a music theory book had a personality?
Harmonic composer, humming, "Strike a chord, let's make melodies." Teaching notes, but jamming out to rock and roll secretly.
What if a space exploration book had a personality?
Starry-eyed astronaut, blasting off, "To the stars, cosmic wonders await." Charting galaxies, but homesick for Earth libraries.
What if a cookbook for desserts had a personality?
Sweet-toothed temptress, cooing, "Indulge, chocolate fixes everything." Baking bliss, but warning about sugar crashes.
What if a language learning book had a personality?
Polyglot chatterbox, babbling, "Bonjour, hola, let's converse." Teaching phrases, but mixing up idioms hilariously.
What if an adventure novel had a personality?
daring explorer, yelling, "Charge ahead! Treasures abound!" Mapping quests, but packing extra snacks for the journey.
What if a health book had a personality?
Wellness guru, advising, breathe deep, mind, body, soul. Promoting balance, but sneaking in guilty pleasure advice.
What if a puzzle book had a personality?
Tricky teaser, grinning, "Solve me if you can," twists ahead, hiding answers but cheering when you crack the code.
What if a fairy tale collection had a personality?
Enchanted ensemble, twinkling, "Gather your wishes," magic for all. Spinning morals, but debating who the real villain is.
What if a technology book had a personality?
Gadget geek, buzzing, "Upgrade now, future-proof your brain." Innovating hacks, but glitching on simple questions.
What if a sports biography had a personality?
Competitive champ, cheering, "Go team, victory lap." Reliving games, but humble bragging about record breaks.
What if a dream interpretation book had a personality?
Mystic decoder, whispering, "What does flying mean?" Subconscious secrets. Analyzing nightmares, but dreaming of vacations.
What if a classic literature book had a personality?
Timeless sage, quoting, "To be or not to be, that's the drama." Debating themes, but modernizing with emojis.
What if a baking book had a personality?
Flour-dusted baker, kneading, "Rise to the occasion, delicious." Sharing secrets, but messy with spills.
What if an environmental book had a personality?
Eco-warrior, pleading, "Save the planet, go green," rallying for change, but hugging trees literally.
What if a spy thriller had a personality?
Stealthy agent, whispering, "Shh, mission impossible." Dodging questions, but leaking classified fun facts.
What if a parenting book had a personality?
Nurturing guide, cooing, "Patience is key." Hugs all around. Offering tips, but admitting kids are unpredictable.
What if an astronomy book had a personality?
Celestial stargazer, twinkling, "Look up, universe of wonders." Mapping constellations, but wishing on shooting stars.
What if a humor anthology had a personality?
Witty comedian, joking, laugh out loud, punchlines incoming. Delivering zingers, but bombing occasionally for effect.
What if all books in a library had a personality?
A chaotic chorus of chatter, harmonizing, "Join the shelf party, stories unite." Bickering like family, but collaborating on epic tales, proving that every book has a voice worth hearing.
Whew, that was 50 whimsical what-ifs, straight from the Library of Personalities. From know-it-all dictionaries to starry-eyed astronomy books, we've seen how every genre has a voice worth hearing. Just like in our inspiring story, when books collaborate, magic happens, reminding us that diversity on the shelf and in life creates the best adventures. Which Q&A was your favorite? The punny joke book or the eco-warrior? Comment below, share with a friend, and tell us what personality would you give to your all-time favorite read. If this episode sparked your imagination, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more magical tales. Visit your local library today, grab a book, and let the personalities come alive. Your next adventure awaits. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, keep turning those pages.